All right, I wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm doing with this AC wiring, how I'm hooking these up. Let me start by talking about the outlets. I've got, I think, 3 different books on electrical wiring in boats, and none of them said anything about specific outlets to use. So I did a little searching on the internet, and I found a company that sells an outlet that's supposed to be rated for boat use. And so then I searched that part number on the internet to see what was coming up, and I found somebody on a forum that was talking about they had bought some of those. And that's not the brand that I have here, but anyway, just in general, the one outlet that I found that was supposed to be boat rated, the guy on the forum that I found him talking about it, he said that it was the exact same part number as the hardware store, same company, manufacturer, same part number as the hardware store version that cost $3, and it was like $16 with a box that said it was for marine use. But it was the exact same part number on the outlet. So I guess what that tells me is what happens a lot of times is it doesn't really make any difference, or they actually don't specifically make them, or if somebody does, they're pretty hard to find. So just regular household outlets is what I'm going to use. And this is just a standard outlet, nothing special about it. This one here is a regular outlet, but it has USB ports on it. Now, a couple things with outlets is you cannot use these or wire these like you would in a household situation. You're not going to wrap a solid wire around this because you're only using stranded wire, marine grade stranded wire, and that is not, I suppose you could solder it together, the end together, and then bend it around there. But what I've been doing is using these marine grade connectors, and what these are Wi-Fi brand, and then I actually have a kit, and then I buy a whole bunch of them in bulk too, and then just refill my kit out of them. But these are double insulated heat shrink terminals. They've got like hot melt glue in the inside, so you crimp these onto your wire, then use a heat gun. Most of this stuff I've had for years, so it's nothing I had to run out and buy to do this for the most part. But anyway, the heat gun then, or whatever heat source you want to use, to heat shrink the wire on there. And then I'm just putting these under the screw terminals. Now, the way I've got things, I put 4 outlets in along the galley here. I've got one over there by the bulkhead, or on the bulkhead, and that's kind of in that corner because I've got one of these USB outlets in addition to the 2 regular AC 120 volt AC outlets on it, so we can charge things over there. I've also got a USB port on a 12 volt outlet over there, so we've got 4 different sources of USB for charging over there. Thought that could kind of be a little bit of a charging station for cameras or whatnot. But these do not have output terminals like you've got on a regular outlet. You've got 2 sets of terminals. These only have 1, so I wired that one, a single wire going to this one. That you could use this maybe at the end of a circuit, would be more practical. But the way I've got it wired is I've got a GFCI, which is one of these here, as the first outlet along the galley wall here. And this has got 2 sets of contacts or connections on it. This is where your load, not your load, but your power comes in. The line comes in here, and this is your load coming out here. So if you want to run future outlets on the same wire or same circuit, you can run your next outlet off of this one, which is what I did here. I don't know if you probably can't see that, but so the first one in the circuit over there, you can't see it probably, is the GFCI, and then this one, and then one more down there on this circuit are non-GFCI, but they are all protected then in that line because the first one is a GFCI, providing you wire them properly. So power comes in here, the line comes in here, and the load comes out here, and it goes to the next outlet. and then that would go into an outlet like this, in and out, which doesn't make any difference which ones you use here, other than keeping your polarity straight. The brass colored ones are always load, and the silver colored ones are neutral. And you need to keep that straight too throughout your system. And I'm using plastic cases as opposed to metal cases, simply because I think that's, well, no corrosion with plastic, of course, but then you also have the shock hazard is not there. Of course, if you're using a metal case, you have to hook your ground up to the case as well as to the rest of the ground circuit. But anyway, that's what we're doing here, and that's what I've been doing. I also couldn't really find any information on what terminals to use, how to wire these. Nobody was really talking about that. I don't know if you can even see me here or not, but nobody was really talking about that either. But that's what I'm doing. It seems to me to be the best possible connection that I can get on these by using these yellow or 10 and 12 gauge terminals, crimping them. And I use a decent ratchet crimper. That's something you really need for crimping these terminals properly. And I use a wire stripper too. I've got other wire strippers, just the regular, like this one, only better, that I've never used, where you just put the wire between the holes and pull. This thing is handy. It works quite well. You can adjust the depth of the stripping, and then I've got a stripper for cable. Don't have any laying around here handy, but yeah. Let me find one for you. It is kind of a pain stripping wires. So, and this is 12 gauge, three conductor wire. Anchor is the brand that I'm using. And this has got just a little cutter there in the middle. And you just put it in the middle, pinch. Oh my gosh. Pinch and pull. Normally it works a little easier than that. And there you've got your wire stripped back then. For $3 or $4, whatever these cost, it's worth your investment, trust me on that. Although that was a particularly difficult strip there. And as for conduit, like I said, I'm not running conduit anywhere in particular. I'm putting conduit, can you see that? Probably not. Horrible camera position, sorry. But I'm running conduit stubs down here. There's going to be a backsplash up here and then shelving and stuff up here. So these will get positioned wherever they need to. These are just here temporarily now, but they are live. They are wired up and working. So they're usable. But I'm using this just to keep water splashes and stuff from out of the bottom of the boxes. Once the wires get behind somewhere where they're not accessible, I'm not too worried about it. But that's what we're doing for the AC wiring, and that's how I'm wiring the AC circuits up. And I've got 6 circuits available on my little breaker panel there, and I need 7 actually, so I'll probably double one up. One that's not real high load. We've got the water heater is one, the engine room is one. That one will probably get doubled up with maybe like the aft cabin. The engine room and the aft cabin will be on one circuit. Neither one of those are going to have any real significant loads on them. Pilot house, you may have something running outside from the pilot house, so yeah, that should be a circuit on its own. The forward cabin and the head up here will be one circuit. The fridge and freezer will be on a circuit. And the galley bulkheads and whatnot through here will be on another circuit. So that's what we're doing, and I have been doing for AC wiring. All right, continuing on with the odds and ends I'm doing this week. I got my floor hatches cut out here. Right now it's just one big cutout. I think I'll probably make it 2 individual hatches, because once the bunk is in here, that bunk is going to run to that line there. So it'd be kind of hard to take that hatch out and get stuff in and out of there with both of them open. So I'll probably just make that 2 separate hatches. But anyway, now that I got that opened up, I've been spraying my copper naphthenate in there, and I'm just soaking it is what I'm doing. Really saturating it, letting it run down the boards, and it's probably dripping out the bottom of the boat too, from between the planks. But anyway, getting a good saturation on there, and I'm just using, I think I showed you that in the video earlier, using the hand sprayer to spray in there. But there's that, and then like I said, I've been doing some wiring in here, and these outlets aren't in their permanent locations. They're just a couple screws tacked in there now, just to hold them up so I can use them while I'm working in here. And then here's the one that's got the USB outlets in it. It's got one USB-A and one USB-C in each of these outlets. And I've got 6 of those outlets I ordered. I think it came as a 6-pack. They were cheaper that way than buying just 2 or 3 of them at the store. So I got a 6-pack of them. I'll put one in here, back here in the galley. Like I said, I think I'll use that little corner there maybe as a charging area. Maybe this drawer back here can be, you know, batteries and cameras and whatnot, lights and that sort of stuff, flashlights. Use this area as a charging area. I was thinking about even making a little charging pan, or putting a charging pan back here somewhere that you can set the batteries of the devices in to charge in case you ever have a lithium fire. You know, they got bags you can get for that too, so maybe not a bad idea on a boat. A fire is not a good thing on a boat. But anyway, so I got these outlets in and wired up. Been working up here a little bit, getting this stuff ready to go. And I was thinking maybe I should start at least getting the bunks worked out to the point where I can get my plywood in here before we start working on the... Yeah. Alright, so today is the 27th of September, 2023. And picked up some plywood so I can start putting the sheathing on here. And this past week, I haven't been doing a whole lot down here. I did fill in the last little bit of whatever I needed to do to get this pretty much level and ready to go. I got a little sanding to do there yet. But other than that, it's going to be ready. And I've been carrying on filling holes here in the bottom, and I'm probably not quite, yeah I am, halfway now. Just about exactly halfway, filling holes here. Then of course this will all need to be sanded. And in some places a little bit of planing, but this stuff is actually pretty good. It shouldn't need much other work. But that's where I've been working down here in preparation for putting plywood on. And we're going to do the transom first, and then we'll start working on this side. Whether it go top or bottom, I'm not sure. I don't think it really matters. But yeah, I wanted to wait until the weather cooled off to do this. And this next week it's supposed to be in the 80s. It looks like all week now. So I probably won't get started on this for a while yet. But I've been working up inside the boat, doing a little wiring and some other things. And I'll go give you a quick overview of that. So I've been doing some wiring up here, getting some AC circuits run. And this is the AC side of the things here. And as you can see, there's places for 6 breakers. It only came with 3. So today I got 3 more in, and I got 20 amp breakers for these as opposed to 15 amp breakers. I'm running 12 gauge wire everywhere on the AC side of things, so it can certainly handle the extra current. We'll put a 20 amp breaker on here in the galley. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 outlets in here. We'll run another 20 amp breaker, probably to the up to the pilot house, and then I don't know where we need another one. Yeah, the water heater doesn't really need one. Engine room is going to be hooked up with the aft cabin, so, but that probably doesn't need one. Pilot house down here, yeah, we'll put the other 20 amp breaker somewhere. But yeah, that's fine. And I shot a little video earlier. You saw me painting that, or actually spraying that copper naphthenate in there. But I've got some wiring I've been doing in here now, and this is again 120 volt circuit, and I wasn't sure what to do here. I ran a wire in here, so I had, you know, a wire already pulled from the panel there, but I needed to branch it off into a couple different circuits. One going to the head, and then one here to a couple outlets here in this room. So I put a little, what the hell do you call them? Bus block in there, and then I put it inside of a plastic watertight box, and yeah, so then I can put when I need to get the second circuit I want to run off here, I'll just double these up and run that over to a couple outlets over here in this forward cabin. Then the other circuit goes over here into the head, and here I ran some conduit down into there and got a GFCI outlet here. So that should work fine. Maybe not the best place in the world for it, but yeah, it works. And I had a nice convenient little hole there to run the conduit. But yeah, I guess that's about all I have to report for this week. And next week's probably not going to be real busy just yet, because like I said, the weather hasn't turned yet to cool. So we're going to have to keep finding some other odds and ends to do for a while until we can start working on putting the plywood on.